Starmen Podcast.
Hello and welcome to a Starmen Debates. I am your host, Devin. With me is Billy, Cody, and David.
Woo!
Hey, everybody.
Greetings to everyone.
And guys, this is a regular debate. We'll go around the room, see what everyone's doing.
I'm playing Detroit Become Human.
Okay.
It's pretty good. Like, if you enjoy Heavy Rain or Beyond Two Souls,
Yeah.
those are good games. So, I'm enjoying it.
I've not really been doing anything. Watching movies. Jurassic World.
Okay, so just kind of
Yeah.
nothing particular.
Yeah.
You're just kind of drifting.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just been redoing some old stuff, so nothing really worth mentioning.
All right. I took advantage of Steam sale, so I have a bunch of games I'm playing through. Too long of a list to name. So, guys, we're going to talk villains.
Man, that's the weakest villain I've ever heard.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
Quiet, minion.
Yeah, that's more of the the insane minion laugh.
Not even insane, just sad minion.
Or sad, whatever. So, guys, why are we talking villains? Because they are the most part of the blah. Let me form my words again.
Part of everything.
They're kind of important to the story.
Yeah.
Can't really have a story without a villain.
No. You need a good protagonist and you need a good antagonist.
Yep.
You gotta have something to drive the story forward.
Yep. So, I guess we should just go around the room. What's your favorite villain?
Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon from wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Wesker guy from Resident Evil. Kind of like him.
I don't really have a particular villain per se, more like a type of villain.
All right. Well, what
Okay.
type of villain?
Let's see, either if they're gonna make a relatable villain,
Right.
or just the insane, pure evil villain.
All right. So all in or have a reason.
Yeah. How about you?
I like the insane villain, like the Joker, Kafka.
Yeah.
So yeah, villains come in all different shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
And David mentioned a few types, but there are a few more that we could mention. Can you guys think of any others? Billy, yours is kind of on its own. He's kind of the corporate business
Yeah.
villain.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Calculating.
The calculating mastermind villain.
Power hungry villain.
Power hungry, but most villains fall under that category. There's the good guy turned bad villain,
Okay, yeah.
and the unsympathetic villain. It's like no matter what this guy does, he cannot be redeemed for anything.
No,
he's
yeah.
done.
He shot
And-
himself in the foot.
Yeah, and that he plays that like I am the baddest person you've ever met,
Yeah.
and then the opposite of that is the sympathetic villain, the one that you actually kind of feel sorry for. So we're going to go back in the past and go into uncharted territories of Disney. Because Disney had some really great villains.
Yes.
In fact, their biggest flaw is that the villains always stole the show.
Yeah. Yes, actually.
Yeah.
Not always.
Not always, but back in the times. Their heroes were kind of bland, but their villains made up for it.
Yeah.
But that's the problem, because then you're more known for your villain than
Yeah.
anything else.
True.
Where I was going with that is, why is it that we shouldn't put the villain fully in the spotlight?
Yeah, I know. Good question.
'Cause as a villain fan, like, I love villains more than heroes.
Yeah.
And I would love to see the villain more and more, but it's that also kills a villain.
Like, or.
You're over saturated
Yeah.
with
Yeah, I
a
don't
villain.
think of the word there.
It's kind of like a nice little surprise when the villain shows up and you're like, oh, okay, what's he gonna do now?
Yeah.
But if he's always there, you're like, alright, I'm getting kind of tired. This is, I wish Curtis was here for this, because he actually explained this well. This is the Saturday morning villain. So, you remember your old Saturday morning cartoons where the heroes would beat the villain, but they'd be back next episode
Yeah.
and get their butts handed again
Yeah.
and again and again, and it just got comical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where you don't want your villains to fall into.
Yeah.
Your villains are a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah.
Pretty much like the 60s Batman villains.
Yeah. Or He-Man and Skeletor is a good one. Or any of the 80s cartoons.
Yeah.
Even Shredder falls into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Geez, some of the one-note villains were more of a threat than Shredder in that one.
Yeah, I know.
That's just wrong.
Yeah, when your one-note villain is like, oh, that guy's actually scarier than Shredder.
Yeah. Or is somehow winning despite being lamer.
Yeah. So, this is where you don't want your villains in.
No, because, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're being outdone by, like, a one-hit wonder,
Yeah.
And clearly, you got issues.
And clearly, you're not writing your villain well. Or it's time to give your villain a break
yeah.
Yeah.
and or maybe a rewrite.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to throw Turtles in the spotlight on this one because they did. The Turtles cartoon, Shredder was a joke. What was the 2000 one? Like the more darker storyline based one, based more around the comics.
Oh, the 4Kids one, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, that's a contradiction. 4Kids having a dark show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, they actually made that Shredder a threat.
Yes. They rewrit them and they're like, yeah, this is a better Shredder.
Yeah.
Freak, even the movies had a better Shredder.
Oh, God, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when you have less censors bothering you.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
But it's also the saturated. We saw Shredder in every episode of the
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Mm.
And of course, he's going to get his butt handed to him every time, otherwise, it wouldn't be much of a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very true.
So, what do we look for in a villain?
I guess it depends on the villain. If it's the insane one, willingness to wipe everything out.
And that's more of an objective than.
Oh.
I'm looking for characteristics in this one.
Ego.
Okay.
Ego. Thank you, Billy. That is a good one. But we'll come back to that because I want to get a list of them.
Yeah.
Calculating mind, I guess.
So, intelligent,
Yeah.
we'll say.
Not the dumb one said, "Oh, I'll tell you my entire plan."
Oh, no, I see way too many bombs to know.
There this goes.
What's your plan?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I made a presentation of it.
Are you hoping to kill me with boredom?
I guess the charismatic villain, would that be considered one?
That is one. It kind of falls hand in hand with Billy's ego,
Yeah.
but yours is more spot on what I'm looking for.
Right.
So, overall, we're looking for a villain that entertains us.
Yeah.
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 If your villain walks in, says his, announces his plan, and no one's like, "Oh, that's a good plan," or "Yeah, I can get behind that." Something went wrong with your villain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you're like, "Oh, did the villain just enter?" I don't think that guy's the villain.
Oh, you're right. Appearance, that's also an important thing.
Yes. How he makes an entrance is also very important.
Yeah.
Billy, your villain gets a pass because he just has a good
Oh
entrance.
God. Yeah. Why do he always walks like he has a broomstick up his ass?
Yeah.
Maybe he does.
I like our joke on that of, I think Vince is a robot. No, he's just done so many steroids that he just can't move all his muscles proper. But yeah, when the first thing your villain needs to do is be memorable
Yeah.
with his entrance.
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader was a very good example of this.
Yeah.
You knew what Darth Vader was all about the first 5 seconds you saw him.
Yeah. As soon as he shows up and you hear the Imperial March.
Yeah. And he just marches down that hallway. He doesn't
Yeah.
do anything for
No.
a little bit until he's force chokes one person.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh crap, he
Yeah.
means business.
Yeah, like this guy is here to do his job and means business when he does it.
Yep.
The other one I can think of is for Dragon Ball Z, Cell.
Oh.
I'm talking imperfect Cell.
Yeah.
Because his goal was to be kind of the more creepier style of villain. And he does that very well with his first opening.
Oh yeah. He was creepy for sure.
Yes. The setup scene for him where you go and investigate Piccolo goes and investigates the abandoned town, or the desolated town, and finds no one but traces of clothing all over the place. And then just you see something slink in the shadows. Just mwah. Perfect way of starting off a villain. Dude, you got any examples? Or any villains that you're like, I loved when that villain entered the scene?
I guess I can only think of one at the moment.
Okay.
From the old Transformers cartoon, when the Decepticons were taking over a dam, Megatron just burst in through a wall, shot a hole in the ceiling, announced himself, and his leader Decepticons and said, "You're all gonna do what I say."
Yes, sir.
That's the way of taking charge right there.
Yeah.
Come in like the Kool-Aid man and be like, y'all listening now to me.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Yes, giant tin man, please don't step on me.
Pretty much. That's how you make an entrance. I think that man trying to watch the Kool-Aid commercial. I'm like, yes.
Oh no!
So we established entrance for a villain starts them off really well. What keeps them going now? And this actually comes now down to personal taste of a villain.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, with Vince, I was like, he portrays himself as the evil boss. He he'll like ruin your life if
Yeah, you cross him the wrong
Yeah.
way. He will end your career in
Yeah.
life. That's how he plays the villain character, and
Yeah.
you like that.
oh yeah. Because I will give you fun trivia. First time Vince was actually a heel
Yeah?
was not 1997, like after the Montreal Screwjob. It was 1993 in Memphis.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
Bit of trivia for everyone.
yeah.
Cody, what keeps you enthralled with a villain?
Crazy plans. Yeah, kind of like the Joker.
Okay, we'll come back to that one, because I do want to talk about that one, because that's
Okay.
part of mine. David.
For me, I usually like it when the villain stays a threat.
That's also part of what we're going to talk
Oh man.
So, for me, a villain, to keep me entertained with your villain, one, I like an unpredictable villain.
Yeah.
So, one where the next time you see him, he's got a whole different game strategy going.
Oh yeah.
And this also falls into what makes him a threat. Because you're not sure what he's going to do. You know he's going to pull out all the stops to get what he wants.
Is that regular pie or an acid pie? You'll never know.
But that's, in my opinion, what makes a good villain is you're not sure. You know his objective, but you're not sure where he draws the line on how he's going to get that.
Yeah.
And for some, there is no line. There's just, I will do this, or I will die trying.
Possibly both at the same time.
Possibly both at the same time. And we have to kind of talk about this, but hand in hand, the villain and the hero interact together. So you got to have
Yeah.
a good hero-villain interaction.
Like the Bond movies.
Yes. So when your villain is saying his master plan like an idiot to his adversary, you kind of have to have a hero that kind of understands what he's talking about.
Yeah.
If James Bond was replaced by some nerdy teen,
Oh god.
wouldn't really work.
You know. Because for one thing, they ain't getting laid.
No. If I was a James Bond villain, I would never hire female assistants.
No, because
All he does is seduce them and make them work for him.
yeah,
And that's how he gets out of almost a lot of his death traps.
yeah, Mayday, Pussy Galore.
I can't get over that name.
Yeah. I don't know if we can keep saying that name on this channel.
For this one, Dave.
Nope.
Oh no.
Is it safe for YouTube?
Goodhead.
Well, I guess you said it anyway.
Yeah,
so
well,
it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's pretty safe.
Yeah.
So yeah. So hero and villain interactions are necessary. Also, if your villain like trumps your hero, it's not really a fun villain.
No.
And there's a few examples of these with the comic book villains, where, like, let's put Magneto against Wolverine in this one.
Yep.
Wolverine does not stand a chance against Magneto, and I don't care what comic universe you put them in.
No.
He's got metal in him. He's in trouble.
Yeah. So that pairing doesn't really show off Magneto in the best light either, because basically he makes Wolverine look like a joke,
Yeah.
and at that point doesn't make Wolverine look like anything serious, which makes him in return not look anything serious.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this: like one that sometimes I like do with the movies or the villain is like the hero's like the protagonist is like best friend who did not see it coming.
Yeah. So the backstab, or
Yeah. One of the ones I know think of is Goldeneye.
yeah, it's been a while since I've seen the Bond movies.
Yeah.
So
Good, but the villain in Goldeneye is 006.
oh,
I can think of another movie where that happened. Arrow? With that stealth plane? John Travolta?
I mean, broken.
Yeah, that one. I like that one.
Don't ever watched it.
okay,
Ah.
Yeah, so like that one, like you're not.
yeah. So there's more of a connection between them than just
Yeah.
I'm some dude who wants to destroy or take over the world, and you're the guy who has to stop me.
Yeah.
You know what, like a good reveal. You know, like you don't know who the villain is until at the last minute, or who the true villain is.
No, that's
Yeah,
also
that's-
a good one. The one that the villain. This is where you keep your villain as a spotlight for the whole thing,
Yeah.
and just put him in at the last minute to show this was the guy who's masterminding this all along.
Yeah.
Would you have figured it out?
Say what?
No, good observation, Dave. There are the end of the episode reveal villains, or end of the series reveal villains.
Yeah.
I have an example if you want.
Sure.
That anime Gun X sword.
Yeah.
How they revealed I enjoyed how they revealed the claw at the end of that one episode.
Okay.
It has like the girl Wendy. She's talking to this kindly old man Garner,
Yep.
giving her life advice and all this stuff, and really helping her out. Then right at the end, it's just like, oh, he's the claw.
Yeah.
Like one of his supporters just comes with his claw, and she's like, it's like her whole life just shattered there.
Yeah,
You're
it's-
the claw.
Yep. No, very good example.
Yeah.
And it also pays into the mannerisms of that villain.
Yeah.
I don't know, I've never seen this anime, but I can always predict the personality of this villain.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assume he's a very patient and calculating individual.
Yeah. It's just more like he's almost like a cult leader.
Yeah.
But not so much the I rule with an iron fist. It's more like everyone's my family or friends or something.
Yeah. And if you're not part of the family, then you're against us.
Yeah. Or like we can turn you.
Yeah. So he's also very charismatic.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we're all kind of on the same page for villains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of us has mentioned the brute villain. This is the villain that uses just his sheer strength and raw powers to get what he wants.
Lesnar. The Brock.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan of them.
No, and I'm not either, but they do exist. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to
Oh,
think of media where there are some.
I don't mind them as long as they're mixed with something else.
Yeah.
Like I guess if we're going with simple brute like the Juggernaut or Killer Croc.
Or Rhino or something.
Yeah.
Like, they always feel like they're not the main threat.
Yeah, because they're usually hired by someone else or something.
Yeah.
I guess would Bane count as the main brute?
Yes, he would.
Because he actually has intelligence.
Yes. Bane does the thing where he flips flops from between the hired minion to he's an actual goddamn threat.
Yeah.
And this is just how well did you tweak his intelligence before you wrote him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good observation.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, really good one.
Okay. Like, Billy, for you, the wrestling villains, it's so easy just to have them come in, beat up a few jobbers, or
Oh, yeah.
even like the main babyface,
Oh yeah,
and then be like, yeah, because I'm stronger than you, you have to pretty much do what I say.
yeah,
Like, it's easy to just have Vince come down, do a backbreaker on someone, and be like, this is why I own you.
yeah. Well, still, like with Vince, the storyline he had with the guy with one leg,
Yeah.
because like the best line he delivered in that one is, "Come on, I need real athletes, not some freak."
Yeah. So, let's get into that. Thank you, Billy.
Okay. Ooh.
So, Billy brings up the instance where the villain does something that just you have to hate him for it.
Yeah.
And it's the villain you love to hate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, I find this is very key to keep your villain a villain.
Yeah.
Is if you can make them do stuff that's irredeemable.
Yeah.
And it could just be as simple as, like you said, just calling someone a freak.
Yeah.
Or just have them murder a bunch of people.
Yeah, have them slaughter a town.
Yeah.
Or blow up an orphanage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many villain acts that you can do to just make your villain the most unredeemable.
Yeah.
Or I think when the Batman comics, I think Joker poisoned the whole Boy Scout troop.
Yeah. Yeah, no, let's make
Yeah,
Joker super irredeemable.
Yeah, I think we got him with poison cotton candy.
Yeah.
It's so annoying when you get, oh, let's forgive him. He's making up for it.
Yeah, and this is,
Yeah.
I think, Dave, you have this pet peeve too.
Yeah.
It depends on how much bad the villain did.
Okay. This villain, I'm going to go right into the heart of what I know you hate. This villain destroyed a town, but we're going to forgive him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's annoying. Especially if it's a brute villain, and this is probably going to make no sense at all, but like, I'll just give double points to the villain if it's like I don't want to use this term, but God mode Sue.
Yeah.
Like one of those villains that can do everything perfectly.
Oh, yeah, no, the Mary Sue villain.
Yeah, it can't be thwarted. But so they like the hero forgives them at one point, then they're on your side.
Yeah.
I was like, are you kidding me with this horse hockey?
Yeah. No, that's actually terrible writing in my mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is where we got into the sympathetic villain, the irredeemable villain,
Yeah.
and this is where rewriting your story, if you want your villain to turn and become a good character,
Yeah.
how hard is that? And that is really based on how sympathetic you made your villain.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
If my villain is an evil tyrant that rules the galaxy, it's going to be really hard for me to convince you that he's going to be a good guy later.
Okay, I thought of an example for wrestling.
Yeah?
This. When Sergeant Slaughter came back as the heel, the Iraqi sympathizer, he did a series of vignettes going around different like U.S. landmarks saying he wants his country back.
Yeah.
Some of that.
Something like that. That's the opposite, actually, of what we're talking about.
Okay,
That's, you're turning a good guy into a villain.
no, he was already.
Oh,
no,
this is when he turns back again from...
yeah.
I forget what that group was called. The Iron Chief.
Oh, it was Triangle of Terror.
Triangle of Terror. This is when he stopped doing that and came back to Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. Those promos.
And then, okay, fair enough. I kind of got confused what you said. But yeah, he went to different landmarks and...
Yeah. I want my country back.
Yeah.
Sorry, that sounds so silly to me for some reason.
It was.
It was.
Yeah, so... I'm going to ask a question because I don't remember how this happened. How did Hollywood Hulk Hogan become from bad guy to good guy again?
Okay, which was the weirdest thing. Like, he was still, like, the heel.
Yeah.
And one night he came... This was when he was still in WCW. This was still in 1999.
Yeah.
And one night he was supposed to be in a six-man tag match. And next time his original WCW theme started playing. And the announcer's like, wait, I remember that song.
Okay.
And he comes out in the red and yellow.
And instantly like that, everyone's...
Yeah, then he was still... Then he switched back to Hollywood, but then it was... But then he, like, quit shortly after.
Yeah.
Then when he came back... then when he came back from WWE, he was come back as the villain, but at WrestleMania, everyone was cheering for Hogan.
Yeah.
And originally, he actually had to fly. Vince had the idea of having him come out in the red and yellow during WrestleMania.
Yeah.
He actually flew, caught a red eye to go down to Florida to get it, his gear,
Yeah.
so he could turn good, but then they decided not to.
Ah.
I'm like, that's...
All
I
right.
have a headache.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll stop there. So we talked about villain entrance, we talked about the different types of villains, we talked about what our favorite villains are, and what keeps us enthralled with a villain.
Yeah.
Also, the villain and human interaction. There's one more piece of the puzzle, and that's his villain and minion interactions.
Vince with the Stooges. I'm sorry, I gotta bring that up.
Okay.
They're Pappas and Dale Briscoe. Like, how they would be like the ones who would always be sucking up to Vince.
Okay. So, we'll come back to that because
Yeah.
I know what you're getting at.
Yeah.
So, think of your villain and think of his minions and how they interact with him.
Okay. Honestly, I think they're just, scared of them.
So, he rules them by fear.
Yeah. And unpredictability.
Yeah.
Because one second he could just laugh, or the next second he could just put a bullet in their head.
Which villain are you referring to on this one?
Oh, I don't know. Like, I was thinking Joker.
Okay.
You haven't even specific there.
Yeah, I was looking for more of a specific
I was
villain,
thinking Joker.
for example. So the Joker. The Joker has a very interesting interaction with his minions, which we'll also get into.
Come on, Bob.
Dude.
Sorry, I don't have an example, but I usually am interested in the villains that get respect from their minions as opposed to fear.
Yeah. So, sorry to cut you off there. Go
Like
ahead.
the one that would lay down their life for their leader.
Yes. So your villain, instead of ruling by fear, has convinced his minions that he is worth dying for.
Yeah.
That he has such a noble or
Yeah.
plausible goal that it's worth killing yourself to have this achieved.
Yeah.
Wow.
That villain is usually very dangerous.
That is
Yes.
a very dangerous villain because that is a high charisma villain.
So
Yeah.
much worse than the Joker.
Yes. This is where I wanted to talk. The Joker's great and all, but for villain minion interaction, Joker sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Joker does not work well with others.
No.
Oh, no.
And that's his whole thing, is he's not supposed to. I mean, or someone probably scream, but what about Harley Quinn? That is not
No.
an interaction. That's she is devoted to him by some sick love.
Yeah, some crazy obsession.
Yeah. And Joker could care less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He treats her like he treats all the other ones.
Yeah.
Sometimes worse.
If you're useful to me, I'll use you. If you're not, I'm just gonna push you to the side and pretend you don't exist.
And if you're really getting in my way, I'll just kill you.
Yeah, and if you get in my way, I'm gonna murder you. Even if you don't get in my way, if you're if your death is convenient enough for me to get away, you're dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to go back to David's. The high charisma
Oh yeah.
villain is the most scariest.
Yeah.
Because that means he can convince other people to believe that.
Mhm.
So he can always build up his minion army, as we'll say.
Yeah.
I find the ones that rule with fear, their biggest flaw is that they finally get what's coming to them and their minions will abandon them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll close this off with the villain death. Because usually your villain will be defeated at some point.
Yeah.
So how does your villain go out that makes him either memorable, respected, or that was a bad villain, like that was a really good villain?
I'm not sure on that one.
There's a few ways of doing this, and a few that I like are he realized this is where your villain doesn't realize he's the villain.
Yeah.
He thinks everything he's doing is he's in the right,
Yeah.
and just at his final moments, he realizes
Oh, crap.
I was the villain. Shit.
Yeah.
Or that massive fall from grace, like he ruled a countryside, but because he ruled it with an iron fist and fear, and when everyone finally abandoned him, he's left all alone on the battlefield with the hero and his troops around him, and he finally realizes, I have really nothing.
Yeah. How about would the amount of effort it took to take him down be example?
Yes.
All right.
So a villain that was hard to take down
Yeah.
makes them stand out as why they were the villain to begin with.
Mhm.
It's like we had to do a series of planning and plots, and everything had to go off perfectly
Yeah.
for this guy to be taken out. And if anything went wrong, we lost.
Yeah.
And just the villain death.
Yeah. Like them doing a speech or something at the end, or
Yeah, either them doing a speech or just how they die.
oh yeah, just like this. Yeah, Disney almost wrote the book on that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, Disney was great for villain deaths.
Yeah.
And James Bond.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Was it the one of the ones I still remember was Dr. Kananga in Live and Let Die. He shot one of those inflatable air pellets,
Yeah.
and it pretty much inflated him, and he went flying up and exploded.
Yeah.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah. And then what was Bond's one-liner? He always does a one-liner.
Oh wait, he only had an inflated opinion of himself.
That's what I
I'm
thought
like-
he was going to say. If you asked her to put money down, I bet you it's something with inflated ego.
Yeah, I remember. Well, like, wait, what line was that?
Yeah.
So all the other ones when Goldeneye when he drops Trevelyan from the satellite,
Yeah.
and he's like, Like, with Valent's like, for England James? No, for me. He drops him all the way to the ground, he's still alive.
Yeah.
Then the satellite falls on him.
Yeah.
Wow,
So-
you read my mind. I thought about that scene too.
Oh god, like that's like who's mine. Ugh.
So how's this for a scene for a villain to show you how determined your villain is?
Yeah.
While he's dying, he's still trying to crawl, walk towards the hero to kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty intense villain.
Yeah.
Yep.
I always love those scenes where, like, the villain is still going even though he should have been dead long time ago.
Yeah.
He's just that determined.
Yeah. He's got that determination in him.
Mm.
And it's just the fact that his body finally gave up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, a bit. He just would not quit.
No. Gotta hand it to him. He just wanted it more.
Yeah.
So that's been our discussion with villains.
Mm.
Any final thoughts before we end the episode, guys?
I mean, like I said before, you can't have a good hero without a good villain.
Yep.
Don't forgive a villain for killing a bunch of kids.
Make your villain well written.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go with David on that one. Make your villain well remembered.
Yeah.
Alright, with that, this has been a Starman Debates. I am your host, Evan.
Billy, dang it.
Cody, peace out.
Damn it, see you later.
Have a good one, guys.